In this video, we're going to learn about what place value looks like in year 4. So we'll start by explaining what place value is, and then we're going to work through some activities on our free downloadable worksheet. If you haven't downloaded the worksheet yet, take a look in the title, description or the comments, and there should be a link there which will take you to the place value in year 4 worksheet. So the first activity will be writing the number in digits, then in words. We will then look at partitioning a number, finding the value of a digit, and then finish with a place value challenge. So in year 4, you should be able to read this number on the screen. The number has 4 digits. Now the digits means each number. So I have the digit 5, the digit 3, the digit 6 and the digit 2. And when those 4 digits are arranged in this order, we can read them as one number. And the number is 5,362. So if you are unable to read a 4-digit number at this point, you can have a look at the year 3 place value video, which will go through a lot of the same things but using 3 digits, and that should help build up your confidence with moving on to 4-digit numbers. So as with the 3-digit place value numbers, I'm going to show you how to use resources, and really in year 4 we want to move away from using the resources, but it is also important that you use them until you're confident. So we're trying to build up your confidence so that you can start to recognise the value of each digit in a 4-digit number without using the resources. But it's a bit like taking your stabilisers off your bike. Don't take them off too early. Make sure you're really confident before you move on. So on the screen, I've got some different representations of our number 5,362. Here I have 5,000 blocks, 300 squares, 6 tens and 2 ones. Over here I have my arrow card. So my arrow card would look like this to start with, 5,362. And if I separated them, I could get a 5,000, a 300, a 60 and a 2. If you don't have arrow cards at home, you can go onto a website called MathsBot and then go to the bar that says manipulatives, and you can use all these resources online. You can use Dean's, you can use arrow cards and many other different resources. So even if you don't have them at home, you can actually find those online, and that might help you. So if I was to put my number onto a place value chart, I have my 4 columns. I have my ones, my tens, my hundreds and my thousands. Now some of you might still be learning your ones as units. It's the same thing. I'm going to write in my number as well as digits. So 5, 3, 6, 2. I've written the digit 5 because there are 5 thousands. How many thousands do I have? 5. And actually the blocks help you with those because you can count how many thousand blocks you've got. Your arrow card tells you the value of that 5. This 5 is worth 5,000. In my hundreds column, I've got 1, 2, 3 hundreds, which I've written here, and the value of that is this 300. I've got 6 tens, and the value is 60, and I have 2 ones, so I've written the digit 2 and my value is 2. So a place value chart is really useful. You do not need to have a nice neat place value chart to use one. You can very quickly write your own headings anywhere when you're doing some working out. A really useful skill to use and will help you going forward, even up to year 6, 7, 8. So we're going to take a number for your first activity. The number is written as a word and you need to write it in digits. You're going to write it in number form. So our number is 8,547. So I'm going to start by writing it in my place value chart. Now you might want to use resources to help you, so arrow cards or Dean's. but I want us to move towards being able to just write it as digits into a place value chart. So please use MathsBot, or if you've got resources to hand, use those, but I'm going to move towards writing them straight away in our place value chart. So I'm going to look at my number. I've got 8,000. So in my thousands column, I'm going to write the number 8. I've got 500. So in my hundreds column, I'm going to write 5 and 47. So with our tens, this is the bit we need to really know our vocabulary of all our tens numbers. So our 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 and 90. We need to know those words. So 40 is 4 tens. So if that's a bit you're stuck on, practice that first. Practice knowing those numbers, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and practice writing those numbers as words so you can see how they're spelled and you can recognise them. And then I've got 7, which is 7 ones. Now, with the tens and ones, they are usually combined. So I've got my 8,000 is separate, my 500 is separate, and then the 40 and 7, I don't say and 40 and 7. I combine my tens and my ones to make one number, 47. So it is important that you know all the names of your numbers up to 100 and that you know all the names of the tens numbers. So I've written that down now on my place value chart, and you can see that that actually is my answer. As soon as I have transferred each word into a place value chart, it actually gives me my answer. So I had 8,547. Now, what I like to get my pupils to do, to get them into a good habit, is when you start with your thousands, once you've gone past your first 3 digit, where I would say the word thousand, I put a comma. So I've got 8,000, my comma is my 1,000 when I'm saying it, 547. So have a go at the activity on your worksheet now, or skip ahead and complete the worksheet at the end. So here I have 4 digits, 6, 9, 8 and 7. And in that order, I can read the number and I want to write the number in words. Now, if you can't read that number very easily straight away, here's a little trick for you. I start from my ones and I count in 3 places and I put a little comma. And that immediately tells me, it separates my 6 from my ones, my tens and my hundreds. You only need to be able to read 3 numbers like this to be able to master the place value, because as you learn more and more place value digits, they all come in groups of 3. So in year 4, you only need to know up to the thousands, but I can, as long as you can separate them into groups of 3. So I've got my first group of 3 here, and I've put my comma in, and my comma, I like to use the comma and replace the word comma with 1,000. So I've got 6,987. So I can say the number, so I should be able to write the number. If you're still a bit unsure, I'm going to take the digits and place them into the place value chart. So 6,900, 8 tens and 7 ones. Okay, so I'm going to use the headings to help me write the number in words. So I've got 6,000, comma, remember I put my comma there. In this case, I don't replace the 1,000 with the comma. I put my word 1,000 and put my comma in. 900. Notice I don't put hundreds or thousands. It's 6,900. Now the 3, you always write that together. So I don't put a comma in. I write the 3 numbers together. So here I've got 900, and I don't say 8 tens and 7 ones. My tens and ones are combined. So it is really important that you know all your numbers up to 100. So the 8 and 7, 8 tens and 7 ones together make 87. So 987. So important that you know that your tens and your ones make one number. 8 tens and 7 ones makes the number 87. So learn all the words of the numbers up to 100. And then your three numbers, your hundreds, tens and ones are always written as one number. 900 and then the tens number. So we've got 6,000, comma, 900 and these two are together, 87. So have a go at the activity on your worksheet now, or skip ahead and complete the worksheet at the end. For the next activity, we're learning to partition the number. Partitioning is a very important skill and it will help you out with lots of things as you go up through Key Stage 2. It's going to help you with calculating more complicated numbers and all sorts. So it's a very important skill to understand. When you partition something, to partition it means to separate it. So you're just going to separate each of your digits. So starting with 6987, by writing them in your thousands, hundreds, tens and ones chart, you can separate the value of each digit. Imagine using the arrow cards for this. So if you were to imagine your 6987 as arrow cards and you pulled them all apart, you would have, so first of all, I look here, I have 6,000 and I have 900 and I have 80 and I have 7. So that's how I partition my number. I might want to put it in a place value chart to remind me, but I'm going to look at the value of each digit and I start with the biggest one. So my 6 was worth 6,000, my 9 is worth 900, my 8 is worth 80 and my 7 is worth 7. So to partition it, I imagine stretching out all the digits and saying and showing what each digit is worth. What is the value of each digit? So for this activity, the last activity we did will really help you with it, but we're just going to focus in on one digit. So you might want to write your number into a place value chart, and then this number is, the digit underlined in this number is the 8. So we're finding the value of 8. You would go to your 8 and you can look at the column heading and that tells you the value of it. The value of the 8 is, it's 8 tens, but what is 8 tens worth? We don't call it 8 tens, we call it 80. So the value of the 8 in this number, the number underlined, is 80. You could also do what we did earlier where we wrote it out. We've got 6,000, we've got 900, we've got 80 and we've got 7. The underlined digit was this, so the value of the underlined digit is 80. What about if the 6 was underlined? So again, you might want to write it all out. You might not need to write it all out. You might be able to just use the headings. I can see that the underlined was the 6, so it's 6,000, or if I've written it out like this, I can see that the answer is 6,000. In this example, the 9 is underlined. So again, I might write it out, or I might be able to see it from the column. So it's my 9 that's underlined. I can see that my 9 is in my hundreds column, and if you've written it out, you'll see that it's worth 900. And finally, the 7 is now underlined. So again, you might write it out, or you might just use the column headings. Either way, I can see that my 7 is 7 ones, which is just 7. For your final challenge, you have got 4-digit cards. Now, you can make loads of different numbers if you rearrange the cards. So obviously on the screen, you can see the number 4,862. But if you did a bit of swapping around, you could do 4,682, 4,628, 6,482, 6,284. The list goes on. It's endless. Well, it's not endless actually. There is an end. Maybe you could investigate that. Is there an end? How many different combinations can you find? But the question on your worksheet is to find the largest possible number and the smallest possible number. If you've enjoyed this lesson video, then please have a look at our website where you can sign up for access to loads more free resources to support maths learning in Key Stage 2. So that's years 3 to 6. I started doing these lesson videos in response to the school closure. We already have a year 6 app on the market, but the years 3 to 4 and 5 are all being designed especially to help you with your homeschooling. So if you want to keep up to date with more resources as I make them, then check out the website and you'll be able to sign up at www.pocketprivatetutor.co.uk. We're also on Facebook and Instagram where I'm posting loads of different puzzles and tips and tricks that you can have a go at with your family at home. Hope you've enjoyed the lesson.